Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for connecting to this presentation. I'm going to explain which is our approach for improving the power plants, power assets, operation and maintenance through artificial intelligence combined with the deep knowledge of the process. First of all, I'm going to try to explain which are some of the challenges that we are seeing on the O&M of power plants. And when I say power plants, I mean all the different technologies that we can have, like fossil plants, renewable, nuclear. All the different assets have some specific challenges, but there are some of them which are common for them. Like for instance, we can talk about some restrictions that we can have from the market. There are some different technologies that are growing up. There are some competitors. We have some restrictions due to the fuel prices. At this moment is very critical, as we are seeing on the global markets. We have also the pressure to reduce the cost and consumptions of the power plants. So reduce O&M cost is really a must, and it is going to be even higher in the near future. Also, the flexibility that is asked to the power assets is increasing. The flexibility of adapting the electricity production according to the needs from the market, from the consumers. And also, we need to make the right decisions in our assets, in the management of our assets, in uncertain conditions. That is something that is very critical. So we need to count on some tools in order to make the best decisions. We can use some technologies. There are some emerging technologies that are promising us to help us. However, with our experience, some of those technologies, the important part is how to use them, how to combine the technologies with the deep knowledge of the process in order to solve specific problems of the plants. Otherwise, it is going to be just technology thing, and it is not going to solve the problems that we can have. So Tecnatom is an engineering company that is serving the utilities for more than 60 years, and we are experts on the operation and maintenance of assets of different technologies. So we have created what we call Techos. Techos is our suite of solutions to support, facilitate, and optimize the power plant operations. The goal is to provide the customers digital solutions to optimize the operations, to fix specific problems. We have some different solutions for digital worker, for process optimization, for monitoring of the assets, and for asset management. And something that is critical, our differential factor, is the knowledge that we have of the process. Of the operation and maintenance of the different technologies. That is our expertise, and what we do, our approach, is to combine this process knowledge with all the different technologies. And in particular, I'm going to explain how we are applying these machine learning, artificial intelligence technologies teaming with our process knowledge in order to fix specific problems of the plant. So I'm going to explain to you 5 examples. The first 4 examples are going to be very briefly, and at the last one I'm going to explain in more details. So the first one that I want to introduce is the ACM, the Advanced Condition Monitoring. We are providing this kind of services to different plants of different technologies in order to be able to detect in advance degradation of components. How we do that? With machine learning algorithms. So we are taking value from the current data in order to reduce the O&M costs. However, with our experience applying this kind of technologies is very complicated to receive value if you don't have experts in the O&M doing the analysis of the results from the algorithms. And that is what we do. We train the models, but we have our O&M experts that are analyzing the results and that are alerting the plant in case a degradation is being detected and some actions are needed. And as a result of that, we are reducing by far the false positives. That is one of the key things on this kind of solutions. And we are providing a lot of value. We measure one of the KPI that we have for this kind of projects, or technical performance indicators, is the return of investment, the value that is being generated by the alerts, and it is normally doubling the cost of the service. So that is the first example that I wanted to give you. Another example of how we are applying artificial intelligence combined with the deep knowledge of the process is what we call Techos Alert. This is a system where we are using artificial intelligence in order to filter and optimize the alarm management. So we have trained those algorithms, as always, with the expertise on the operation, in order to help the operators to solve the problems, because the system with the algorithms is going to identify which are the most important alarms in case of alarm flood in order to actuate. So this is the second example. Next one is related with the performance. So we have a software tool that is called Techos Alert. That is an online performance monitoring tool. So it is monitoring the heat rate performance of the plants, helping the monitoring center to identify and quantify deviations in the performance. We are applying artificial intelligence in order to provide to the users some help, some support tools during the identification, the diagnosis of the problems that are causing those deviations. So this is a good example of how the machine learning algorithms are supporting the users of this application in order to identify the degradation. And those degradations in performance, those deviations in performance affect the fuel costs or the production. So the return of investment of the solution is also very high. And the fourth example is how we are applying artificial intelligence in our digital worker solutions. For instance, in Techos View, we have an interactive PNIDs layout. What we do with this solution is that we process with machine learning algorithms the different drawings of the plant, and we connect with the different sources of information, and with our experts in operation, we aggregate value with the different sources of information. So what we have is like a Google Maps of your plant. So you can search for a component and to receive all the different information. So those were the examples that I wanted to highlight of different applications of our approach of combining process knowledge and artificial intelligence. And with the fifth example, I'm going to give more details. I'm going to focus more on this one because of the momentum that we have. Right now, the gas prices are really, really high, so it is affecting a lot to the combined cycles. And one of the key elements for the combined cycles is to be able to do the startup very fast, saving the costs, and supplying the electricity at the moment that is requested by the market. So this is really a challenge for the combined cycles due to those market restrictions that we may have, to the costs that we suffer, and also that in case we are not able to provide the power at the right moment, we may receive less money from the market, and also we may need to pay some penalties, and also there are some carbon costs that need to be considered. And actually, if in some markets, if a combined cycle is not able to be competitive during the startups, they can lose the opportunity to enter in the market. And of course, it is always needed to be able to have data in order to optimize the process, to enhance the process. So with those challenges, what our experts in the operation have created is a system that we call Techos Alert. And this system is the best example of how we are combining our deep knowledge on the process, on the O&M, and those artificial intelligence technologies. What we do, how we do it in order to install and configure Techos Alert for a combined cycle. So we do that in 4 steps. In the first one, we categorize the startup type and all the different complex processes that we have. Then we use historical data to train the artificial intelligence model. Then we can store the application connected with real-time data in order to provide to the user the data that they need at the right moment. So when they are going to do a startup of the plant, they will have the estimate of how good they will be able to start up with the current conditions, and they are going to receive some warnings when they need to provide actions, and they are going to receive updates of the estimate. And to see that in more detail, process categorization, what does it mean? It means that the process of starting up a plant is complicated. So our experts take the process startup of the specific plant and categorize that during some workshops with the plant, with the staff of the plant, and we identify which are the complex process, we identify which are the fixed process, which are the critical maneuvers, the critical permissives, and we identify in which areas of the process it will be more interesting to apply some machine learning algorithms in order to enhance the predictions. Once we have done that, that is where the key value is, because that is really where the experts add value in order to have everything very clear. We start training the models with the historical data that we normally take from OSIsoft PI or similar system. We train our models, we validate with real startups, we start validating with real-time startups, and with that, we provide a very good user experience. And that user experience is covering the whole process. So before we are going to do a startup of the plant, we can have the best estimate on how the startup is going to be. So we are going to see a curve that is going to be exactly the best startup that we can have with the current conditions due to the specifics of the plant and due to the historical data that we have. We are going to see how it is going to evolve during the time. So we are going to know when we should start the process in order to provide the electricity that the market is requiring to us. We are going to optimize the consumptions of fuel and auxiliaries, and we are going to maximize the energy output with that estimate. And we are going to be able to provide to the market the best estimate, so we are going to be in a better position to enter in the market, to be selected to provide energy to the market in case we are in a competitive market. Then we start the process, we start the plant. So during the startup process that takes some hours, we are going to have some follow-up. So we have a specific front end that we are going to be viewing, which is our estimate, how it is evolving, because it is going to be recalculated in real time. In case we have some deviations, we are going to be alerted. And when we have some critical maneuvers, and when I say critical, I mean something that is going to impact on the startup process, on the cost, on the consumption, on the output energy, we are going to receive also some alerts from the application. So that is a critical application for the operators at the control room. And then after the startup, we have also an analysis tool where we are going to have some analytics where we can exploit the data of the different startups. We can have a reporting on how good really the startup was compared with the estimate that we have, and we can be comparing different startups. And even if we are a fleet and we have different plants, we can be comparing different plants if needed. I am referring all the time to combined cycles. That is an option, a combined cycle, but that can be applied also to other technologies like CSPs, different plants that are starting up often. I have also an example of the front end in order to see the user experience. It is a very clean and user-friendly application. So we just received the information that is needed. We don't need to restart the operator. And using that, our clients, the users are receiving a lot of benefits. But we can sum up this in that they are providing the best estimates. So they are not given out of the market. They are reducing the costs, and they are able to enhance the process. Actually, the first plant that implemented this system received an important award of application of artificial intelligence technologies. And in order to end my presentation, I'm going back to our approach. So this approach is to combine the expert process knowledge with the artificial intelligence technologies, putting both profiles working together. And we have seen some success stories of this approach on how we are using that to fix specific O&M problems. So for those who want to explore the potential cooperation with us in order to fix those problems or others, applying technology and the expertise, this is how we can move forward. You can contact us, we can discuss the specifics of your plant and your problem, and we can build together a business case analysis and potentially to start with a pilot project and then to scale up. So those who want to contact me, I am going to be available during those days with NRG, and otherwise you can contact me through email or LinkedIn. So thank you so much for your attention.